Hello, hello, hello. Here we are. I'm live, just about. Hope everything's working. And I'm going to show you what I'm trying to show you what I look like, just so you can see that I'm a human being. Everything's messed up. There we are. Oof, here I am at last. So welcome to another Mystery Monday. And I've got so many photographs to show you tonight. It's not true. You're going to get as well as looking at some of the entries for the personal protective equipment theme. I'll tell you why I said piggy in a minute. We'll look at those. We'll look at some of the photographs that have been stimulated by the daily prompts, which are basically my daily photographs and a little text. We're going to look at some people commenting on the weekly discussion. What else? I'm going to quickly show you the Today's the Day group, which is nice, and it uses the same daily photograph, and that's a place you can get involved in, which is really cool. And the best of all, I'm going to show you some of the submissions from participants in the smartphone masterclass photographer. What is it? Creative smartphone masterclass. Something or other. My masterclass, which started a few weeks ago and is about to finish in a week or so. And I've got some amazing submissions, beautiful photographs, lovely collections. So we're going to look at some of those as well. Say hello if you are watching me. That'd be nice. I can see that I'm live, so I'm going to get rid of that page. Yeah, say hello, say who you are, where you're from. If I can see who you are, that's fine. And let's get right into the photograph, shall we? If you want to make any comments at all, then do make a comment and I'll reply to those. So let's start off by looking at the, let's look at the submissions for the theme, if I can find it. And the theme was not that's the weekly chat. The theme was personal protection equipment. It's something most of us are having to deal with. When we go outside, we put a mask on. And I thought that it would be quite fun to try and see how inventive you could get in your photographs with your personal protective equipment, PPE for short. And I've got, hang on, I've got someone saying hello from Sweden. Hello from France. Who could that be, I wonder? It could be... Could it be Dorothy or someone like that? Let me know who you are because I can't see it. It says Facebook user. If you want me to see who you are on your comments, go to streamyard.com/Facebook and just accept that I can see who you are. Streamyard.com, it's down in the bottom left there. Streamyard.com/Facebook, and I can see who you are. Right. So thanks for saying hello, person from Sweden. And let's have a look at some of these. Right, so the first one was pretty incredible. And by the way, I don't have a theme for this week as usual, so I need a new theme. This is about as scary as it gets, actually. It used to be a gentleman called Rob, and he has become Featherman? I don't know. So he's got some sort of, I think it was a Harley-Davidson scarf or something around his face, and then he's got a rather beautiful mask. He says the red feather brings the ensemble together. It certainly does, Rob, certainly does. Thanks for your super enthusiasm. And there's another one here of him in another pose with on a slightly more serious note. He's got more of a standard mask there. So great, thanks for contributing. Without your contributions, we are nothing. I took this photograph. I don't think I took it because of this theme. But then I thought, hey, it's kind of a mask. So I put it in there. It's pretty, well, it is what it is. I always say that when I just want to stop myself from justifying it or saying it's good or saying it's crap. It is what it is. It's a personal piggy equipment. I don't know how much he's going to protect me, but if you get too close, he's very fond of me. So he'll probably smack you with a trotter or something. Anyway, joking aside, have we got any other? Now, this one is rather more conventional. It's Ingrid, and this is actually Ingrid's job. I think she is a nurse of some sort. I'm sorry if I don't call you what you really are, but she's, you know, one of our heroes in the battle against the virus, and that's what she wears every day. I think she's got one of those plastic things covering as well. So thanks for contributing that, Ingrid. We've got Alice. Alice, this isn't actually Alice in the photograph, I think. I think it's Janie, and a home providing a mask for occupants, which is kind of the sign of our times, isn't it? We've been inside for so long. So yeah, I mean, there's no rules to how you can interpret this. And indeed, it got interpreted pretty wildly. So here we have useful PPE. And what can you say except very inventive? I'm sure I've seen a photograph of a Japanese person, and they had something like a toilet roll on their head, and it came down so they could blow their nose on it when they wanted to. I've also seen a couple of beer cans there with the straw coming down to the mouth. That's not PPE, but maybe it's some sort of personal survival equipment. So that's great. You see, you're letting yourself go. That's what I like. And what else have we got? We've got Alice again. So Alice contributed about 3 or 4 here. And this is some of the animals in her home getting in on the act. I'm not sure if those are official masks or socks or something, but yeah, they do look like masks. Even the little robot's got one. Household pets are protected. Getting into the spirit there. And finally, we have the sun is a safe place to be. Okay, there you go. So those were the contributions. I would have liked more contributions. So maybe I'll start promoting this a little bit harder to get more people to do this. But in these times, it's not easy to find the motivation to do such activities. So I do need something for this week. I don't have a theme yet. Last week it was sunshine, which was nice. This week it was masks or any sort of personal protective equipment. And after that, I don't know what it's going to be. Right, so let's move on to another thing I'd like to show you. Got something coming up here. Right. So this time I want to look at the weekly chat. And the weekly chat was, quite simply, what's your favorite thing? Oh, God. How can I get rid of this? Go away. So the weekly chat was, what's your favorite thing to photograph and why? And in my other group, which is Creative Blog and Article Writing Group, the chat is, what's your favorite thing to write about and why? So if you like writing as well, you can go into that group and talk about writing. We had some nice comments here. We've got Yana, who says, nature, it's beautiful. And I think I asked her why, what aspect of it? Oh, yeah, I asked her to post some examples of nature. So Yana, if you can, post some example of your photographs of nature. That would be lovely. Here's Rob. And Rob is, actually, I thought he posted a picture of him running on this bridge. He says, mainly wildlife or landscapes. The suburbs are not as photogenic or as inspiring as cities. Well, I don't know. You can find inspiration anywhere, can't you? But yeah, sure. Some places have more variety than others. And we had a little discussion about if he went to Paris, he could fill up a memory card in about an hour, which is probably true. So yeah, it's kind of a lonesome looking bridge. And I think there's a picture later of the same bridge with him. I think it's him or someone running on it. Okay, this is Lise. Lise with a beautiful picture. She says, I always get inspired when I walk outdoors. I'm a sucker for bright, colorful flowers and all things spring. Yeah, I don't know if you've done something special with this photograph, or it's almost too amazing to be natural, isn't it? Tell me. And the tree looks strangely green down there, almost like the aliens have arrived. I'll just get rid of this StreamYard thing. Ask questions if you have any questions about this stuff. Ask questions in the chat, or just say hello. Say hello. Say how you're doing. And if there's a photograph that comes up that you particularly like. Say, I like that one, but you have to say which one it is because it's probably moved on, and say why you like it. That would be nice. So that's beautiful, isn't it? Really amazing. Pink and purple in the clouds, incredible. And then we've got, I'll just see if she said, then we've got Dorothy, who says, does she say something about nature? It helps me to be present and notice things that is or are, to act and catch the moment. I think she's talking about why she loves photography, I think. I'm usually a big thinker. With the camera, I allow myself to experiment and to see more. I also allow myself to be seen while taking photos, taking space. What a beautiful picture of a bug. When I see something like this, I'm just so amazed that this color exists in nature. It's like a shiny, greeny yellow. It's just beautiful. And it's very nicely composed as well, actually, isn't it? With the bug beetle thing down in the bottom left with a kind of lovely soft rock. Not soft, I mean soft colors, soft gray rock to ramble along. And then we have 𝗟𝗓𝗏𝗧𝗏, who is a fan of nature and bright colors. And she loves taking pictures of things like mushrooms and flowers. And I think we'll see some photographs of hers later because she's doing the masterclass. And she sometimes makes the colors even brighter than they naturally are. But there, I think you've just got an incredibly colored little mushroom by the looks of it. I don't think I would eat that if I were me and I found it. I've got someone who is Facebook user saying, hey, Sab. Hello. Thing is, you're Facebook user, so I don't know who you are. You could say who you are, or as I said, you can go to, I've just written it there, streamyard.com/Facebook, and just allow me to see who you are when you comment. All right, we've got Ingrid has contributed some flowers. And she says, because flowers' colors relax me and make me feel better. There's a lot of poppies here in France at the moment. Oh, they're all over the place, and it's absolutely lovely to see them. You've got a beautiful, rich combination of red, bright red, the green, and then some old stone wall or something, which is very nice. Nothing else to distract us, just the flower, the green, and the wall. And here's another flower from Ingrid. So it's good that you've isolated it. Sometimes people don't watch the background too much. In this case, you've got the flower nice and sharp, the trees behind are fuzzy, and then there's the sky. And Jackie says, nature of the dog. So nature or the dog, sorry. And if you've got a dog in nature, even better. I think this is Spike, our old friend Spike. And he looks extremely happy in nature, doesn't he? And then we've got Asanda from South Africa. Fantastic, Asanda. How are you doing? I think you heard me playing my musical drum earlier, bonging my musical drum. I dared to do it, and you made some nice comments. Thank you. It was about the first time I played it, so nice to get some positive vibes going there. Asanda, if you have some photographs, please post them in the group. Every single day, I offer my photo of the day as a prompt and a little bit of text to prompt to maybe inspire people to post their own photographs. But you can post any photograph. It doesn't have to be inspired by the photo of the day. So please share some photos of South Africa, Asanda. I would love to see them. And you can post them in any day's theme. It's not a problem. Or you can follow the theme of the day. So thanks for commenting. Nice to have you here. This is Alice. And Alice says, I think it is subjects where I look up. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Chimneys, lamps? Really, Alice? We know that Alice is a huge fan of lamps, especially when she comes to Paris. Signs, etc. Isn't that funny? I mean, everybody has their preferences. Sometimes they don't know what it is, just going outside. But in this case, it's really quite specific. Alice does love looking up. And very often when you do look up, you see some stuff that you wouldn't even imagine was there. To be honest, this is rather exceptional because I think it's Gaudi in Barcelona, and you don't normally see this sort of thing in Paris, for example. Asanda is saying, yes, I enjoyed your music earlier. Wonderful. Oh, she's even put some little dancing ladies. Yeah, I don't know if people would dance to that, but it's kind of, dong dong, dong bom bom bom, meditative stuff, isn't it? Thanks very much for that. And yeah, if you can go to Barcelona with a camera, it's wonderful. The Gaudi stuff is incredible. And then we've got Jen, and Jen is saying flowers. Jen loves flowers. She loves all sorts of little pretty, cute, colorful things like stones and jewelry. She's currently part of a team who is making, her and a guy, who are making beautiful jewelry out of twisted wire, twisted copper, some sort of black leather, I think, strap, a little bit of black leather to hold the wire together. And I think it's leather, I don't know. And a beautiful stone in the middle of the copper, held by copper wires. Absolutely lovely. Check it out. So Jen is saying flowers, particularly passion flowers. I think she cultivates them in her garden because she sometimes announces the birth of a new baby from time to time, as if that was still unknown by anyone. Yeah, those flowers are absolutely incredible, aren't they? And when you're taking flowers, just because the flower is incredible, that doesn't mean you can just forget the background and the flower will look after itself. You still have to be careful. So I think it's probably still a Sander, because it's Facebook user, saying, I love these purple flowers. They're absolutely incredible, aren't they? And now, so what she's done here, she's got two flowers, so there's a repetition there. And the second one is fuzzy. You see, it's a bit out of focus, which is nice. It means it makes the bigger one, which is closer and sharp, even stronger. And it echoes the theme. Possibly I would have thrown in a bit more of an angle to get a diagonal between the two flowers, and possibly not have had them touching. I think she was just taking a picture for the pleasure. She wasn't thinking desperately about composition and stuff. But if it's inside, you can't do anything about, I don't know, a garage door or something. But, you know, there's nothing really distracting. It's pretty good. There's no sort of, you know, rubbish bins or kids or chairs and stuff like that. So it's really, really nice. So that was the question of the week, and there'll be a new one today. Actually, I should have done it today already, shouldn't I? A new question of the week, which I haven't thought of. And I do a thing on Sunday evenings. For me, it's Sunday evening, where I talk about creativity and productivity, how to be more creative and let your productivity flow. So you actually produce the things that you've imagined in your mind. And I've started taking some things from these questions and talking about them in my creativity show on the Sunday evening. So check that out if you like. I put links to it in all the groups that I have. I'll put another weekly chat thing in the group after this show. Now let's have a look at, I will carry on with the, I need to choose who's the winner of the mask of the things, don't I? So I'll look at that. Here we are, I can find it here. So the winners I'm going to choose, I think it's got to be this, because that's just so funny and inventive and cute. And she dared to do it, didn't she? I don't think that's Alice, but you know, her friend dared to accept it, although you can hardly tell who it is. So toilet paper head is going to be one winner. Who else have we got? So that's Alice and Alice and Alice. Rob has got to be a winner just for this get up. I mean, he's a grown man, for crying out loud. And so is the one below. So I think I'll make this one a worthy winner as well. And also Rob was the first to contribute. Always enthusiastic, always a pleasure. And let's have, who else have we got? We've got Ingrid, and we got, yeah, so maybe I'm going to give it to Ingrid because she is showing that she uses a mask and needs a mask every day for her job, which is helping people on the front lines, as it were. So there we are, 3 winners this week: Rob, Alice, and Ingrid, for your 3 worthy ways of having personal protective equipment. And a special mention, of course, goes to Piggy. Thanks for taking part there, Piggy. I appreciate it. And that's, of course, my personal Piggy equipment. I will quickly go through some of the the daily prompts to show you what you can respond to. That's my Sunday evening thing. It's called Infinite Creativity 𝗙𝗪𝙭. It's, you come along when you want, you leave when you want. You hear me talking about creativity, and you ask questions about creativity, and I talk about them. I don't answer them because you have your answers inside you, but I play around with what you've said, as I'm doing there. Okay, that was last week's weekly chat. I'm looking, oh, we're in announcements. I'm going to show you some of the daily prompts. And these are my daily photographs that I publish, and I have published for a long time now. And I decided to put them in here. This is today's, for example. This is my son, and we went for a walk around Paris. We love Paris, and we particularly love some of the old broken down parts of it, especially the circular railway. There's an old circular railway that goes around Paris. It's not used anymore, but there are vestiges of the rails. You can find them. They're often broken down, or there's an old viaduct going overhead with an old black bridge. Really, really good stuff. And along the edges of this disused railway, you sometimes find a lot of graffiti and some other weird stuff. So we found this, and there's my son, and he is waving goodbye to a butterfly. I don't put the text that goes with this in the photography group, but that actually inspired a poem. And I put a snippet. Did I put a snippet? Yeah, I put a snippet of the text each day as well. And this is a snippet. Actually, it's two little snippets from a short poem I wrote inspired by this photograph. And the bit I offered up to stimulate anyone is the sunrise sings on powdered wings, forever brings such pretty things. Not all the lines finish in ings, but those four do. So there's a double way to be stimulated. If you want a stimulus for a photograph that you're going to contribute, it's my photo of the day, or it's the little text. If you want to contribute any photo at all, you can still do it here. So you don't have to follow the theme or the stimulus. Okay, so feel free to comment on that if you like. I think it's quite an evocative image. You comment, and if you have any photographs of butterflies or of kids or graffiti, you can put them there, can't you? Here's another one. This was the day before, and it's the same place. I've devoted this chapter in When Lady Eiffel Smiles to this trip that we had, and you can see this bridge. Those people walking across it shouldn't be. I forgot I should have blown this up. You see these people walking along there? This is actually going over a canal. They shouldn't be there. There's huge spikes to stop you going, and it's a pretty eerie place. Maybe I can make that one bigger just for the sake of it, because it's pretty and it's my son. I really like this photograph. There's something rather poignant about it. Butterflies don't last forever, you know, and neither do we. Here we are. This is the picture. I thought I'd seen this bridge with a man on it, and maybe it's not Rob. He says, passing pleasantries, running towards 2021, trail distancing. And it's some sort of haiku version of his. So great. Yeah, you see the difference between the empty bridge and with someone on it? Makes all the difference. Not that you always have to, but okay, so we've seen this one and this one. This is in an amazing train station in Paris, and it's in the theme of a kind of Jules Verne novel, like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and that's really pretty amazing. And we've got Rob again, who says, signs and directions, higgledy-piggledy, preventions, safety first. And he said this is his kind of haiku effort or something, my version of haiku. And it's signs and directions, higgledy-piggledy, preventions, safety first. I'm not quite sure of the rhythm. Signs and directions, higgledy-piggledy, preventions, safety first. Maybe it's something like that. Great. Yeah, I mean, combine your artistic stuff with, I've got another comment. I'll look at that in a second. Combine your photography with your art, combine your painting with your music, combine anything with everything. It's so nice when they come together. And I think this is Asana saying, oh my goodness, the picture of your son and the butterfly truly is poignant and beautiful. I'd buy it. Well, you can copy it if you want. I'm thinking of selling photographs, but in my grids of 9, because that's the way I present them. So if you look at this week's photographs, I present my photographs in grids of 9. That's my style, as are my paintings, and a few other things as well. So that was this week's. There you can see the train station down there in the bottom right. Thank you very much for saying that you like that picture. It's very dear to me because it is very poignant, isn't it? So that's how I present my photographs at the moment, in grids of 9. And we also have new ones since last week. You might have seen that last week. It's an old bit of Paris with a couple of tower blocks behind, but you come across this building and it looks like a medieval tower. You imagine a princess letting her hair down from it or something like that. This is this guy, he plays the most haunting music, and I write about it in the text. It's a kind of Chinesey instrument with one string. It echoes down the corridors of the metro, and I've known of his presence for decades, and he never seems to get any older. It's really spooky with this eerie music, you know, stuff like, not like that, but that sounds more like a cat being boiled. But you see the text. Every one of these has a text. So there's a story which often talks about the painting, the picture, or sometimes not at all. But I don't go into detail on the writing in this page, in this group. In the creative blog and article writing group, I will, and won't talk so much about the pictures. But everything's coming together, you see. This is one of my aims, for all my stuff to come together as a kind of whole piece of work, which is me, represents me now, afterwards. Kind of little stab at immortality there. This is the piggy one. This is a guy in a park reading a newspaper. Do you remember those? And in the text, I talk about that. Remembering newspapers? When you actually remember writing letters to people? Remember getting personal letters from people with little decorations on the envelope, maybe a heart? Oh, wow. Those days are gone. It's incredible. I can't believe it. Young people nowadays missing out on the thrill of the postman coming, your heart beating, because you hope you've got a letter from her or from him. And the other one is, I always put the sort of mystery teaser there. So those are the 9 photographs to come. You recognize my son there. And I've done 3 so far in this chapter. This is the chapter dedicated to our walk around Paris. This is under the viaduct. You know that old bridge where the trains used to go? This is the viaduct that held that up in the air. And you see the round bit there. That was a hole in the viaduct. And at some point they got turned into kind of crazy artist studios. How cool would that have been? But they're boarded up now. But as soon as you've got a blank wall in Paris, bam, it gets covered. So that's pretty cool. These funny little steps going up there. Even the steps are decorated. Amazing. And then there's that bridge. And my son, I'll show it to you again, seeing as you like it so much. So those are my Paris shots for this week. There'll be another 7 next week. And now let's get on to what I really am excited about. I'm going to share you some of the photographic efforts of my students on my smartphone photography masterclass. They're all taken with smartphones, but the principles of photography are standard. It doesn't matter what camera you have. Smartphone is a camera, but in the masterclass we're learning about photography. I just happen to focus on smartphones because I want most people have a smartphone. I want everybody to be able to take photographs. They've always got their smartphone with them. It ain't rocket science. So that's why I'm focusing on smartphone photography. I love big fancy cameras, but having said that, I haven't used one for a long time because there's something about smartphone photography. You can do some really cool stuff that you can't do on the big cameras. And that's why I call the group the Creative Smartphone Photography Group as well. Be incredibly creative with your smartphone. So let's move on to that then. I'll get rid of this. Now, this is the Today's the Day group. And you can see there, it's a really wonderful group because you say what special thing you did each day. And it's a way of remembering our days. It's a way of realizing that each day is precious. my philosophy behind this group is that if we treat each day like a little life, when we wake up in the morning with the sun, the day is born, the sun is born, and we are born. You do your thing, the day goes, midday, midlife goes down, and then at the end you pass away. And the great thing is, you normally wake up the next morning. There's only one morning you don't. And if we treated that like a little life each day that we're grateful for, in the same way as we try and be grateful for all of our lives, what about doing that every day? And this is a way of doing that, so that you can celebrate your life every day, and specifically with an event that you can remember. For example, today's the day, as Sanda said, today is the day, there I am, that I decided to play my musical drum. I'll just go forward a bit in this little video so you can see it. No, there it is. You see, it's my musical drum, and I bonged it, and I don't know how to bong it, and I invented this little tune yesterday morning, and I decided to play it, and there it is. So you can do something like that. It can just be a simple text thing, or it can be pictures, or it can be video. Here's Chris, who said, today's the day I planted my enormous garden. Or we've got 𝗟𝗜𝗙𝗙𝗘, who is Yaruska, who said, today I'm delighted to take part in the smartphone photography masterclass. And she produces stunning photographs like this. Look at that, how beautiful it is. So treat every day as though it were a mini life, and you'll be enjoying your life. So that's that group. Just wanted to remind you of that. Okay, well, talking of Yaruska, let's look at some of her photographs. We're on week 7, and this is her week 7 submission. Just have a look at these. How wonderful. Now, these are in a nature theme, and the theme was wide. You didn't have to choose flowers. You could choose anything to do with nature. And part of your job as a participant on the masterclass was to choose an aspect of nature, not just all of nature. So we're looking at coherence. We're looking at presenting in the latter stages, week 7 here. We're looking at presenting a coherent group of photographs, not just a bunch of photographs thrown together. We've done a lot of work on making the photographs look nice. Now we're taking it to the next level, like a meta level, looking at collections of photos. Not actually at this point, but look what she's doing already. 9 photographs with a flower in the middle, nice and sharp, a couple of special effects like this one here, and undisturbing backgrounds. You might think that's strange, but it's amazing how easily the background can disturb you from the subject. And here, look at that color. It's just unbelievable. This color is just ridiculous. It goes from bluey to purpley to pink, which are my 3 sort of fetish colors. It's just incredible. What a flower. And if you look closely, it looks like some sort of crazy little dog's nose or something there, with sort of huge eyes. It's just amazing. And this thing, oof. And so there you can see how beautiful that is. There's another of her little mushroom things, which she likes. Maybe it's no, it's not the same one, is it? The other one was pink. So that's wonderful. That's great. Well done, Yaruska. Excellent stuff. Let's have a look at Nazanin. Nazanin is actually a lady, but she did a special effect to make herself look like a man. She put a bit of a beard on. It's amazing. Anyway, so this is reflections. This was from week 6. I'm just kind of showing random sets. Reflections. And look at some of these wonderful reflections. Here's a heron. Is it a heron? With a beautiful reflection there. You've got the reflections of these boxes. Maybe they're nesting boxes. So lots of reflections there. Here, it's reflection in a window of some sort. And I can't even quite work out what's going on. Yeah, so there's a kind of panel with a car reflected behind it. This is intriguing. See how many reflections you can see here. You've got 2 hands for some reason. You've got the person in the window. I guess it's Nazanin. But is this a window? Well, no, it's not. It's actually a mirror reflecting her, who is on the balcony looking out onto some tower block. And there's also seems to be photographing that through a window from outside. So she's got the television and her mother maybe And she's holding her hand up, and her reflection is on the window, and it looks like there's two pieces of glass somehow. Or maybe one of them is a reflection of her hand on the glass and the other is on the wall of the room. It's amazing anyway. And this is another in the similar spirit. It's much, much clearer, but it's no less intriguing because you've got an arch here, and in the arch is a beautiful reflected green tree. You've also got the arch repeated on the right there. So it's a very nice photograph, very interesting. And you've got, sometimes modern sculptures are chrome, and you can get interesting things there. That's at La Défense in France. I know it very well. And photograph in a window. So well done, Nazanin. Excellent stuff. This is Jen. Jen is the lady I was telling you about. You wouldn't see her wearing this anymore because you can, if you click on this, it goes big. How cool is that? No expense spared, no effort too great for my masterclass participants. You wouldn't see her wearing this now. You would see her wearing an incredible piece of jewelry, the twisted wire, the twisted copper I told you about, with a beautiful stone in the middle. So, so watch out for that. Now, this is great, and I've used this as an example for all of the other students. The way she did the portraits. Can you see this? How beautiful is that? It's just stunning. They're all black and white, of course. They've all got a kind of vignette effect. They're all the same format. But apart from that, obviously, if the subject was awful and the subjects didn't look relaxed, they didn't look like they were having a nice time or interested in something, forget the format, forget the black and white, forget the vignette. But they're absolutely beautiful. There are 3 subjects, another 3 people, and there are 3 photographs of each. And I'm the one that does the arranging for the moment. So I try to arrange them. I put the little kid in the middle, and then a mixture of the girl and the boy up and down. And then you play with looking out, looking to the side, looking up, looking down. It's just wonderful. I really do use this as an example for anyone who wants a good example of a group of portraits, you know, taken a few weeks after. I don't think my students had studied photography before. So we're talking some really great stuff here. Wonderful, Jen. And let's have a look at this one. This is Dorothy. And if you like me looking at these photographs, I can show you more panels because each student has 9 panels over the 9 weeks on 9 different themes. This is buildings, week 4 from Dorothy. And there's Dorothy in a reflection, which is pretty cool. Look at that. Wonderful. But this isn't on reflections, it's on buildings. So I wanted to show you that we look at all aspects of photography in the masterclass. This is architecture and playing around. It's not just a picture of a building. You can do a lot more than that. And I wouldn't accept just a picture of a building. You've got to be doing something nice with it. Nicely composed, nice angles, interesting structure, lots of things like that. So the stuff going on here all over the place. There's lots of reflections. There's some nice jagged edges and so on. So that's an example of buildings. Then we've got 𝗏𝗏𝗏. There's 𝗏𝗏𝗏's picture, another reflection one, beautiful. In fact, it's not, if you look at it carefully, it's not the same picture, is it? Something very interesting has happened here. Very interesting indeed. That's a wonderful picture. She seems to be in color on the left, black and white on the right, not the same picture, and yet she seems to have her head against herself. So it's pretty incredible, that picture. And this is nature theme. Got some lovely photographs here. One of the things to think about is if you like photographing one thing more than another. And we look into that, and over the weeks we start to see what our thing might be. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏 has definitely got an eye for flowers. This is called contre-jour, when the light is coming from behind. And you can see it's lighting up the petals there. It's also very somber. So it's a low-key photograph. But because it's backlit, you've got the little hairs are lit up brightly, which is beautiful. And there are some stunning pictures here. This is one I'm particularly fond of. Why? Because I'm Scottish by origin. I was born in Edinburgh. And the Do you know what flower this is? The thistle is the national, regional, I guess, flower of Scotland. So there it is. You see how it's gone into silhouette and how dramatic it is, how wonderful it is. Absolutely great. I'm really encouraging 𝗏𝗏𝗏 to take her flower photography seriously. I mean, she is, but I think she, you know, I think she could do a fantastic exhibition of flower photos. Yeah, I mean, each one has its merits. Look at that, the sun streaming through a field of sunflowers, incredible. And this, I'm not quite sure what flower that is. It's a poppy waking up or something? It's like a ball of fragile, crumpled, papery petals. It's just wonderful. I've just spotted, it looks like there's a sort of something from a dandelion or something on top of it there. Lovely soft colors, amazing. And so on. This one is also beautiful. Look at that. It's amazing. The sky's great. The field is wonderful. She's got down so low. It's backlit. The light is coming through the petals. And she's low. So it looks like some of the flowers, which are probably maybe not that high, are actually above her. She's looking up to the flowers. That means you have to get down onto your knees to take it. So that's great. Wonderful stuff. Now this is atmospheric as well. It looks like it's been treated in a kind of old way. Chris, we're going to look at color for Chris. And can you guess the color? Well, it's orange, and in most of them, it's green and orange. And in most of them, apart from the oranges in the middle, it's nature. And she managed to get a beautiful orange butterfly as a bit of animal nature to go with the plant nature. And she's done a great job. That actually looks like a little dragon or something, doesn't it? What an incredible flower. Or some strange bird with a sort of yellow Mohican or something. That's great. The butterfly is lovely. Oh, look at that. Beautiful and sharp. Wonderful. And a mass of orange and yellow flowers. And even red. Look at that. Orange, yellow, and red. Incredible. And purple. Plus the green. You've almost got all the colors of the rainbow. And you've got blue in the sky. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. How about that? I didn't notice that before. And this, you could just drown in the color of this. Look at that beautiful orange and orangey yellow. Lovely. And although there are buildings behind, it's out of focus, so it doesn't spoil it much. So that was Chris, and that the theme there was color. This is Alice. This is Alice. Alice and friend. And the color again. I thought I would show you her color shots. And the color is, of course, red and quite a bit of blue as well. And she found red all over the place, especially in her local park. So she was going around the park and the odd incredible car, red teapots, and a red, this one is particularly fun. It's like a frame for her, and she's looking through a round red hole. Maybe it's a kid's playground or something like that. So that's fun. And yeah, so you look at that and you obviously, you think red when you look at it. Probably before you think of the individual things, you think, oh, everything's red. Or there's red in every photograph, which is good. And then that's it. So this is the home page for it's private until the students decide to show it to people. But you can see that I create a page on one of my sites, which is dedicated to their photographs, and it'll be there forever. You know, I'm not going to get rid of it, so they can show their galleries to anyone and be proud of them, and they should be, because they're wonderful. Right, so that's me more or less at the end. I've talked about, I think, everything that I wanted to talk about, and all that remains is for me to think of a theme for next week. Do you have any ideas? Does anyone have any ideas? Let me bring that back. So I'm looking for an idea for the theme for this week. We've done all sorts of things. You know, we've done books and shadows and curves and patterns. We've done your hand. We've done protection masks. We've done doors. What else could we do? Bear with me here. I'll see if I can think of something on the spur of the moment. People are, I think, I'm not sure for you, are you able to go out these days, or are you still stuck inside? If you're watching on the replay, thanks, and let me know. Are you still stuck inside, or do you manage to get out quite a bit? So maybe flowers. It's just come to me. Just because we've been looking at a lot of flowers, that doesn't mean you guys have taken a lot of pictures of flowers. So what about if we make it flowers? It just came to me. And is this the season? Are there flowers out at the moment? I think so. So what about if I ask you to contribute some beautiful flower pictures to this week's theme, to cheer everyone up and to let them celebrate the fact that they can, most people can actually go out of their houses these days. Should we do that? Shall we do flowers? Shall we? Shall we? Vote? Yeah, okay. Right, so we'll do that then. We'll do flowers, and I think you could be inspired by some of the photographs you've just seen, actually. So that's it. We'll call it a day. Do I want to do any other announcements? I could tell you that. Let me share this again just for a second. I'm considering doing a second photography masterclass later on in the year, simply because I just started it. So it's the first run through, and obviously not many people knew about it or had the time to decide to book on. So I'm just going to show you a page. This one here. So this is the page on my site for my masterclasses. So this site is dedicated to the masterclasses. It's just the sort of promotion of them. It's not, the masterclasses aren't on this site. And it's called infinitecreativitynow.com, infinitecreativitynow.com, and it tells you about what's coming up. So coming up, the next one, I'm not sure when it's starting. It's not starting in May now. I want to be more advanced with it before doing it, but it'll be this year at some point, maybe in the summer. And then later on will be the Infinite Creativity Now Masterclass. That's about creativity, but you still produce a project, a creative project over the 9 weeks. It's just, I don't impose what it is. It's not photography. It's not necessarily photography or writing. It could be, but it could be anything at all. So there's that. And then the smartphone photography masterclass is next planned for next year. But I'm kind of thinking, seeing as I've put so much effort into producing the one that is about to finish, I'm thinking it would actually be quite a good idea to run it again, maybe in the autumn, maybe even concurrently with the writing class. I'm not sure, which I should have advanced a lot with as well. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know if you would be interested in a rerun and a slightly less hectic one, because I was writing a lot of the content at the same time as running it. This time, all the content's written, so it'll be literally getting the content, absorbing it, and interacting and taking amazing photographs in your private smartphone, in your private masterclass group. So if that would be interesting for you, let me know, and I will leave it at that, I think. Did I want to show you this? Yeah, this, if it comes up, is the promotional page for the smartphone masterclass. And as you can see, it's pretty comprehensive. Okay, so it looks like this. There's lots of information about it. It looks really nice. It's an experience product, so it's a very, very interactive, like you've never seen before, course. Loads and loads of examples. Certificate at the end. Your own website, I mean, that I just showed you, pages for that. Here's the modules. There are 5 modules over 9 weeks. There's bonuses, and so it goes on. Testimonials. Your success is guaranteed, or I will work with you until you've finished your portfolio and had your exhibition. Beautiful comments from wonderful people. That's about me. There's a FAQ, frequently asked questions. And there is early bird pricing. So you get a wonderful deal if you book on it in the early bird pricing period. And if you're a member of this group, I think I actually give you an even better deal. a little bit off. So there it is. I'll leave it at that. And thank you for watching. Feel free to comment if you're watching on the replay. Leave comments as well. I will see them. And I'll see you next week. And hopefully lots of pictures of beautiful flowers will have come in over the next week. That's it. Bye for now from me, Sab in Paris. And you're lucky because I didn't bong my drum at you. You can go over to the Today's Today group if you want to listen to that. Bye for now. Have a lovely